Welcome back to Rewind Rewatch. I am Andrene.
And I'm Joel.
We are siblings who are 80s babies, and we are rewatching 90s movies. During these episodes, we will be basically talking about any themes, plot points, quotes, and all the movies that we currently cover have been requested by you all. We have a very long list we have been steadily working through. And at the end of the episode, we will give the movie a rewind rating between 1 and 5, basically trying to determine how rewatchable the film is. Now, today, we are talking about Interview with the Vampire. The Vampire Chronicles. That's the full title.
Oh, wow. So, were there multiple chronicles? Or is this the only one?
This is the only one.
So, there's no sequel?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there's a show.
All right. Well, that's a really dumb title if there's no, it's a single chronicle.
I'm just telling you what the title is. I didn't write it. I'm just telling you what the title is.
Well, we were talking on, I think it was the last episode or the last couple episodes about movies that we've covered on the podcast that had sequels. So I'm guessing this is not one of them.
No.
The other thing, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise,
Mm-hmm.
have they done any other movies together? Because I was like, as the movie's starting and I'm seeing these two on screen, and I was thinking to myself, I can't remember any other time where these two guys were ever together.
No, I don't believe so.
I mean, Brad Pitt's done a bunch of movies with George Clooney.
Yes, that's who I thought of initially.
But Tom Cruise, I feel like he lives in like a different
universe.
Yeah, he definitely lives in a different universe.
Yeah, they don't tend to run together. So we've already discussed Tom Cruise on another episode. Mission Impossible. We actually just did it a couple weeks ago.
They're dead. They're all dead.
But this is our first Brad Pitt.
Yeah, that's true. There's a few Brad Pitt suggestions that I won't say which ones. I'm sure you guys could guess that we haven't gotten to yet. But this is definitely the first one that we have covered. When you think of Brad Pitt, what comes to mind?
I think of Troy.
That's a good shout. Yeah. Okay.
Because that's probably one of the more recent ones that I've seen. And so that's what I think of first. What do you think of?
I think of George Clooney.
So not a movie, you think of another actor.
But then I think of what's it called? Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
And then I also think of like Fight Club.
Yeah.
And Seven.
Yeah.
That's like what comes to mind, like in that order.
Seven comes after Troy for me. For some reason. I don't know why. I feel like Troy was like epic Brad Pitt. Like he was looking.
Well, wasn't he also World War Z?
He was.
That was fire.
He was. Yeah, but he was hot in Troy.
Okay. I mean,
like I feel like in this movie, like I was not feeling like the vampire.
Well, he was dead.
No, but some people are into like that brooding, dark. The vampire thing. There's a whole
Twilight
thing.
thing?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah,
no, I like My Humans Alive personally, but
although I will say, so Grey Worm from
Game of Thrones,
he plays Brad Pitt's character on the TV show.
Okay,
and he is fine as a dead man.
Not as a alive man.
Like I feel like on Game of Thrones he wasn't hot, and maybe it's just the eunuch of it all.
Oh God! But you couldn't see that.
Yeah,
on
but
screen.
like something about knowing that just makes it be like,
Oh,
You know?
A lot's coming out today. We're learning so much.
Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
First of all, can you tell us who recommended this movie?
That's what I'm doing. I'm going
Okay,
back. I'm going back. So this is a 94 film, and this is requested by 3 people.
Okay.
We have Ruby.
Shout out to Ruby.
We have Thwip Stickers.
Shout out to Thwip Stickers.
And we have Lil Green 777.
Shout out to them.
All right, before we start getting into more, because I have so much to say about this.
Okay.
One sentence summary.
Oh, Lord.
Interview with the Vampire.
I wasn't
The
prepared.
Vampire Chronicles.
Oh,
yes,
God.
I finally got you.
I wasn't prepared.
I finally got you 1 week.
A depressed man is turned into a vampire and struggles to identify his new purpose. Because I feel like that's like the core of the movie is like him like trying to figure out what it means. Like, okay, I'm a vampire. Okay, like I need to drink blood to live, and well, I need to drink blood to quench my hunger, but not necessarily to live because he's immortal.
Well, you can starve. Like if you don't drink anything,
I guess.
You have to drink the blood.
But then he's just kind of like, okay, but like, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's kind of like the whole point of the movie is him going on this search of like trying to find meaning in his life. And I'm not sure that he does.
Yeah. yeah. He definitely, I feel like he's brooding the entire film. It was
heavy on the brood. It was heavy on the brood. And I mean, I feel like the best way to tackle this movie is really just to like talk about these different characters.
Yeah, that's how I had it laid out in my notes too.
You have the main character, Louis, who's played by Brad Pitt. Then you have Lestat, who's the vampire who turns him.
Mm-hmm. That's Tom Cruise. And then like halfway through the movie, Antonio Banderas just shows up. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he's a part of the movie too. So don't forget about Kirsten Dunst.
Yes, we'll definitely get into the Kirsten Dunst of it all. There's plenty to say about her.
Yes.
I guess what I'm thinking about with this movie is like, okay, this guy gets turned into a vampire and he kind of has like these competing, I guess, trains of thought, right? Mm-hmm. Like Lestat is basically like, yo, just come with me, be lit, like just go out, kill people, drink their blood, lie to them, take their things, and just do whatever you want. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to just kill people. Like, I still feel bad about it. He's like, well, bro, this is what we do now. Like, let's go. And then when he meets Armand is like an old seasoned vampire who doesn't seem to be as careless, I guess, as Lestat. And I think Louis sees that as like, oh, this is the person that I can learn from because Lestat didn't teach me anything. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I guess I wanted to know what you thought about that whole interplay between
Armand,
Louis and Armand, because I was like, what is it about this guy that makes him feel like he's going to learn from him? Is it just the fact that he's old?
Well, he's the oldest living vampire, they say. He's like 400 years old. And then when they go to like, so basically Armand has this whole coven of vampires and he's the head of the coven. And so when they go to that, what is it, like the vampire theater?
Yeah, they're like hiding in plain sight.
Was incredible. Like the idea that you have these people sitting in the audience and basically they have this play going on where they have this unsuspecting victim and they're basically like biting them and bleeding them out and murdering them on stage. And people think it's all part of a show. And
did they though? Because they all looked pretty disgusted and bothered by the end. And I don't know. There was no applause. There was no like, wow, what a performance. Everybody was just kind of like, what the hell was that?
But also,
yeah,
they have a show every night. Yeah. They have a show every night. And they sell out every night. So
the show was awful. I was like, this stinks. I thought it would be something a little bit more entertaining, but it's just like, yo, look at this naked woman, let's kill her.
As she pleads for her life.
What the hell's going on here?
But even at one point, I feel like he said something to the girl and she was like, no, I don't want to die. And then one woman gets up and she's like, take me. And I'm like, girl, do you not see what's happening?
She thought it was like a magic show or it's like, do we have any volunteers in the audience? It's like, nah, that's not what this is.
Yeah, but again, it's like Armand has a coven of other vampires. Because remember, Claudia's whole thing was like, let's try to find others like us. And so I think when Louis gets there, you're right. He sees this person as he's very wise. He's the oldest person around. So clearly he's been doing it for so long. He knows how to navigate. He knows how to live a pretty good, enriching life. And he's also like leading these other vampires. So he figures like, okay, this person can be my new teacher or my companion and I can learn from them. But yeah, Armand and his vampires were really not here for Claudia.
Bruh. It's so crazy.
That whole thing with Claudia, man.
But before we go to there, because there's a lot to say about Claudia, but Armand, what was your read on him? And more specifically, like, what was his motive? Because I was having a hard time, like, getting what his whole thing like. I understand what Louis thought he was going to get out of him, but what did he expect to get out of Louis? Like, why was he engaged in this at all?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Because I feel like so I've seen the show and I've seen the movie.
Okay.
I prefer the show because, of course, with the show you have...
This is more than one chronicle?
Well, the show is actually season 3 is coming out this year.
Oh, so there's more than one chronicle.
Yeah, and like because it's a show, they have more of an opportunity to flesh out the characters. So that's why it's like it's hard watching this film. I was kind of like, oh, they gave Armand like a little snippet, and then like that was it. And I was like, why is
the
he
same
even...
characters?
Yes, it's the same characters, but like I said, it's fleshed out. And so in the TV version of it, it's very clear that Armand wants Louis to be his companion. And so there's this whole idea of him wanting to spend eternity with Louis.
Like romantically.
Yeah, so that's the thing about this movie too. I feel like in this film, like even with the whole Lestat and Louis characters, it's kind of hinting at this sexual undertone, but it's not front facing. Whereas in the show, as well as the book, from what I understand, it's very clear that they are a couple. Like these are two men and they are together and they are in love. Whereas in this film, it was kind of like, it's kind of sexual, but this is just how vampires...
See, I didn't even get that vibe at all.
That's what I'm saying. They've completely played it down for the film.
Yeah, I don't know how that would have went down in 1994, especially with these two stars.
Yeah,
maybe they were just like, yeah, we're not even gonna do that.
Yeah. So like in the movie, I'll say like I was kind of like they didn't really give Armand much of a story, in my opinion. So I was like, why is he even
y'all
here?
Know him? This is Antonio Banderas. He's lit. Like, let's go. Because it's like, I didn't even know what was going on. I've never seen this movie before. And then it's like, wait, what? Why is he in this movie now? There's only like 45 minutes left. What's going on?
Yeah, they didn't flesh it out well. I wasn't a fan of his character. They could have done without it. They could have just had him, them go and meet these vampires and things happen. But like, I don't know that he necessarily needed it in the film.
Okay.
But did you get why the vampires were like trying to kill Claudia?
Not really. I mean, it kind of felt like they wanted Louis to themselves, but they also were going to bury him. Oh, because they killed one of their own.
Yep.
That's what it was. Yep. I forgot.
Yep.
Yes.
It's one of the rules of,
Vampire.
Yep. one of the rules.
Vampireness.
So apparently, it's like according to the lore, at least in this world, in Anne Rice's world that she created in her book, there are 5 rules that vampires must follow. So every coven must have a leader, and only that leader can create new vampires. Rule number 2 is the dark gifts of vampirism should not be given to the crippled, the maimed, or children. So even her being a vampire was like against the rules. Rule number 3 is no vampire can expose the history of their kind to mortal people. Rule number 4, a vampire must not reveal their true nature to a mortal and then allow them to live. And then rule number 5 is no vampire may destroy another vampire except the coven master, who may do so. So if Armand gives the signal that they can kill someone, they can do so. But you can't, as a vampire by yourself, just kill another vampire. So they've, created a lot of... they broke a lot of rules here with Claudia's character. And with Claudia killing Lestat. There was a lot of... killing, quote unquote, Lestat.
I mean, what? Like, what? Bro.
All right, so where do you want to go next?
I want to go like 3 different places. So I'm trying to like eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. Let's start with Claudia, because the whole like first like 30 minutes of this movie is basically like Lestat trying to tell Louis to like, yo, run around town. They're in New Orleans or they're in Louisiana. And he's like a plantation master.
Yeah.
And with Tandy Newton
he had
and
all
one of
these
his slaves.
Yeah, I saw that. All these slaves.
All right, I guess that's happening in this movie. So he's like, yo, like just go into town, into New Orleans, where all the rich people be, and then just like mingle with them and then just kill them because they're easy and the elites taste better anyway.
And they're bad people. He mentioned like it's like better to kill people, I guess, that are evil because
He says evildoers are easier and they taste better.
Well, hey.
So he's like just like showing him around town of how he like seduces people to get them alone and then kills them and drinks their blood. And he's like, yo, this sucks. Like, I don't want to just be killing people. Even though I'm a vampire now, I still value life, even though I didn't want to live. And we see that this guy was like suicidal
from
at the
the
beginning.
beginning.
Like, he's wilding out. Like, he's like purposefully cheating at poker so that the person would catch him and kill him.
Yeah.
And then he's just like hanging out with like women of the night and hoping they rob him. Like,
he's just like
wilding
stumbling
out.
around, like just kind of like
So
whatever.
it's like, bro, like there's way easier ways to kill yourself, first of all. But anyway, he essentially is like stalking him out, and Lestat turns him. So now he's like, okay, the irony is, of course, this man that wanted to die now will never die. And I don't know.
But he consented to it. Because remember,
He
he basically said you have a choice now. You can either die, I can just drain you out, or you can become
one of me. And he's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So this is the whole thing, back and forth. I don't want to kill people. You got to kill people. I don't want to kill people. All right. So then at one point he's going into town where there's some sort of a plague, and he goes into a house where a woman just died from some 1700 disease.
Yeah.
And the daughter's there mourning over the mother. He like goes to console her, and then he bites her neck and starts drinking her blood.
I think because he was hungry. You gotta think like
Because he was eating rat's blood.
Right, and also you gotta think if there's a plague, the rats probably got the plague. So he's drinking all this bad, disgusting blood, and now you have an actual human, and like, she can't live on her own. She's a child. She has no parents.
Nah, dog.
You didn't like it?
I'm not. Yeah, I didn't really. It didn't really add up for me because, yes, he's hungry, but he's been actively passing up opportunities to drink human blood. Like Tom Cruise, Lestat brings two girls over the crib. They're like playing around. Yo, we about to get freaky, and then he just kills them both. So then he like kills the one girl, or he bites her. She's like bleeding out. He's like, yo. Put her out her misery.
Yeah,
go ahead, drink the blood. No, I can't do it. I can't kill anyone.
You finish this now. You finish it. No! Take her, Louis. End her suffering and yours. No.
He's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, she's gonna bleed out. It's gonna be awful for her.
Yeah,
just put her out of her misery.
yeah.
I'm giving you this meal.
Yeah.
No, I can't. So, like, this is who we're talking about. A guy that has been actively, literally just, like, roaming the streets and trying to, like, find French rats to drink blood.
Bro, he ate the dogs. Well, not ate them, but he drained the
like,
dogs.
Bro, like, so,
yeah.
So then it's like, you're doing all this for who knows how long, years maybe. And then the one time you finally decide to bite and kill a human, it's a little girl.
I just feel like time has passed, and maybe he just was starving for it. Like, I feel like because of the plague, I think time had passed and he needed it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just deciding to do this. I think he needed it, and she was there. And it also made sense because also, what is she going to do? She's going to die anyway. She's going to die anyway.
Yeah, but you also have to think about the fact that how's his life going?
He can't die.
Yeah, and he's miserable. So it's not like he's helping this girl out. He's just going to make her also miserable because she also won't be able to die.
No, he wasn't trying to turn her, remember? He was going to drink her blood. It was Lestat.
Oh, so he was trying to kill her.
Yeah, he was like, I'm hungry.
Oh, and her mom's already dead.
She's already dead, so she's not going to make it. So I'm just going to do it. And then Lestat was the one that basically turned her and was like, I have a gift for you or whatever.
That's true. That's true.
So I thought it was just kind of out of necessity. Like, I need this food. So
and nobody's gonna miss this little girl anyway.
That didn't bother me as much. The first time I saw that, I was like, wait, what? But then like later on, when I thought about it, I was like, well, if you need it, what are you gonna do? You know. So we got Claudia, who was a little girl, like 11 or 12 years old.
Kirsten Dunst.
Correct. So what kind of made me laugh about this is when you think about when people change in this film from being immortal to being a vampire. Basically, like your mortal self has to die. and then you kind of like become born anew as a vampire. So when Brad Pitt's character Louis, when he dies, like you see like the contacts come in, you see these blue veins pop up in his skin.
I don't think he was wearing contacts. especially not in 1791. He wasn't wearing contacts.
He had contacts, and he even said he's able now to have like this vampire sight. So things even feel different. They look different. They smell different. Like almost like an animalistic instinct, right? So that's kind of how he changes. But then if you look at when Claudia changes, she's like dead in the bed. She's looking mad haggard and a hot mess. And then when she changes, all of a sudden she gets a perm.
Bro.
Did you notice this? I said, oh, her curls are popping.
Yeah. Yeah, she had the crazy hair. It was like, where was this before?
I was like, why did her hair change? She was lit all of a sudden. Now she's this cute little like doll. And that kind of, but that kind of becomes her play. Like now she is trapped because when you become a vampire, however you were, when you change, that's where you stay for the rest of eternity. And now she is stuck in this child's body. As time progresses, she's like 30 something years old, or it's been 30 years. So she's even older than that. And she's stuck looking like a child. And I'm like, bro, you can't help but feel bad for her because which is why there's a whole rule about not changing children, because this is what happens. But I will say that like having her as a vampire was a fun twist to this genre, because I feel like typically when you see vampires, it's like the older guys, it's like this sexual thing and the sucking on the neck and all that. But with this, it was kind of like you have this child who's just like, she's starving. She's eager to learn. She's like Lestat's little pupil. And like, just to see like how impetuous she was. Like, it's just kind of like, oh, there's a seamstress. She pricked her finger. I'm going to kill her. Yeah. Piano players, get on my nerves. I'm going to kill him. And they're like, we keep telling you, Claudia, not in the house. So it's like trying to parent a child who keeps killing people in the home. It was just kind of funny, to watch that.
I gotta say, I was not a fan of the wrist blood. That was not for me.
Oh, the drinking of like the way you change?
Something about him like pricking his wrist and then dripping it into people's mouth. I don't like this at all. I was like, let's get past this.
Was it turning your stomach?
It was first he did it to Brad Pitt, and I was like, I don't know, this is kind of gross. Then he did it to Kirsten Dunst, and I was like, all right, I know for sure I'm definitely not a fan of this.
Those are blood rigs, by the way, to make them like pump out like that special effects used.
I should hope so.
It was pretty fun the way they did a lot of these scenes.
It was disgusting.
I'll tell you what was disgusting. And this is going to talk about what doesn't really age well, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. Kirsten Dunst was 11 or 12 when she shot this film. There is a scene where she kisses Brad Pitt on the mouth. Did you see this? So she was 11 or 12 and he was 31. And she says in interviews later on that, like, people, of course, who interview her as an adult were like, oh, didn't you feel so lucky to kiss Brad Pitt? And she was like,
I was 11.
I was a child and I thought it was disgusting. Like, no, I didn't feel lucky. And they're like, really? No, I was a child. And then also it's like, there's scenes where like when she's feeding and she's like pretending to like suck on the neck of like
grown-ass
men. Yeah, it's like, it's very like, watching it, I was like, oh, this is kind of creepy. And like, I know it's not supposed to be sexual, but it still was like, you had a little girl doing this. And she was like, yeah, it was disgusting.
Hey, do you want to make it in this town or not?
I mean, clearly she had to do what she had to do.
There's no Bring It On without her sucking on some men's necks. So, listen, she wouldn't be the poo.
Missy's the poo. So take a big whiff.
But I mean, it's still kind of like ick for me. Watching that, I was like, I don't really care for this. So that kind of made me feel a little bit gross about her having to do that.
Yeah, Lestat is trash. And from the beginning,
Wait, why do you think he's trash?
Why do I think he's trash? Because he's very selfish. He like has these people around, specifically Louis and
Claudia,
and it's like you're I don't know. I felt like he was like painting this picture of like them being this one big happy family, but it was kind of like everything was kind of always had to be on his terms. And then if people didn't do things his way, he would get very upset with them and he would kind of fly off the handle. I also feel like turning a little girl into a vampire is like crazy. And it felt like he was really only doing it to make sure that Louis didn't leave.
That's exactly why he did it. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, now you're not gonna go anywhere because you care about this little girl. Well, are you gonna leave her with me?
Right.
No, you're gonna want to protect
And
her.
he's
You're
like,
gonna want to
"All
do
right."
this. So then you got to stay here. So it's like he was just like very manipulative and selfish, and yeah, he didn't really have any desire or show any capability of like seeing other people's perspectives. And
That's true.
as this movie's going on, I literally am taking notes because I had never seen this film before. And I'm like, oh, like, I feel like Louis is going to kill this guy because he just sucks. And I feel like that's the only way that this goes. And I thought that's what happened. And then apparently it didn't. Like, I don't know.
Well, remember, it wasn't Louis. It was Claudia that did it.
Right. So at first, Claudia tried to poison him.
Oh, yeah. So basically, yeah, she fed those humans. Was it absinthe?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was some kind of poison. And then Lestat drank their blood.
And he's like, yo, I know you've been going through it. I know we've been arguing a lot, but this is kind of like my makeup gift.
Right.
And then when he drinks the blood, it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, they're actually dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I can't drink a dead person's blood. I'm going to die. So he like falls out. And then they're like, all right, bet. Let's just dump him in the river.
But I thought she slashed his throat after that. That was the same time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened. But she gets him out of here. That's right. She does slash his throat. He's like bleeding out.
Yeah, that blood it was a lot of blood.
Yeah, and then she's like, yo, lift me up because it's about to get on my shoes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, this chick is super gangster.
I loved it. I loved her.
So then they throw him in the river and he's getting chomped up by like crocodiles. So it's like, all right, well, he's gone. And then he just shows back
he, like,
up.
eats his way out of the crocodile.
And he's like, oh, yeah, the crocodile blood gave me, like, what? That's not the way it works. Like, I don't gain your blood from you eating me. Like, that doesn't really make any sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, they short-circuited things for the film that I feel like they didn't flesh out properly. So in the TV show, what ends up happening is they try to kill him, but basically we learn that one of the only ways you can kill a vampire is like by fire. You can burn them, you can decapitate them. And so after they like,
so there's no stake in the heart in this
no,
world.
they said because matter of fact, I think during the interview, so basically the interview that happens is Christian Slater's character is interviewing Louis, and Louis is telling us this whole story as it's happening.
Right.
And he even says to him like, the garlic thing is not real, stake in the heart is not real. Also, crucifixes like aren't really a thing.
Yeah.
So that being said, you have to cut off their head.
But sunlight is real.
Yes, that's right. Sunlight, cut off your head, and fire. So what happens is, I think after they slit his throat in the show, they're like, okay, let's burn his body.
Mm-hmm.
But Louis didn't want to burn Lestat's body because he still kind of loved him. So he's like, well, let's just bury him over there in the dump and let's just leave town. So like as he does that, as a viewer, you're watching it and you're like, he's gonna come back because you didn't burn his body. So it was
just not happening in the movie.
So it was clearer. That's what I'm saying. I feel like when you watch the show, the movie doesn't hold up as well.
Nah, they cut corners.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. So then he comes back. He's still wreaking more havoc. All right, yo, we thought we got rid of you. Like, we can't do this anymore. Like, we can't live our lives with you just being the devil on everybody's shoulder. Mm-hmm. At that point, he basically burns down the house. And Lestat's still in the house.
Yeah, the big house. Yeah.
And then the fire spreads and like the whole town goes up in flames because it's like the 1800s and everything's made out of wood. And they get on a boat and leave.
They leave. Mm-hmm.
Like leave to go to Europe.
That's when they go to Paris, right?
Yeah. So then it's like, okay, well,
he should be dead.
How is he not dead? Because he's in a house that basically went up in flames, burned the entire town that they were living in. And we see later on in the film when when Louis spazzes out against that vampire coven, and he like burns them all, and they all die. So I'm like, well, how did all those vampires get burned to death? And Lestat is just like, he just comes back at the end. It's like, oh yeah, I've been here. Like I was just hanging out. I was hoping you'd come back. It's like, nigga, how are you back?
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, why is he still? Because I'm like, you gotta think about it. What was it Armand? No, Armand didn't die in the fire, or did he? I don't even remember.
I don't remember what happened.
I don't remember,
Armand.
but it's like he's the oldest vampire alive. If we can get him up out of here, like, how are you? How are you still here? And also, why? I felt like that last scene.
Did Armand die? I honestly don't remember.
He might
what
have just left. He might have just left him, because I think what happens is when they kill Claudia and her companion, he finds out about it, and Louis ends up burning the whole place down. But I feel like Armand, was he like with Louis when that happened? I don't remember. All I know is that the Armand character was really, I was like, I don't really need him here. Get him up out of here. And I didn't understand why Lestat was still alive. I was like, how is he even here?
It was no explanation. It was just like, oh yeah, he's just not dead. And he's just like withering away. And that was the other thing too. It's like, he's not dead, but he seems to be incapacitated and like sick.
He's just sitting in his house.
And it's like he's dying, but he's not dead. But then how's he dying? Because he's a vampire.
And also it's
he should just be fine. Like when he would cut himself, the skin would just grow back. So like how is he not just fine?
And also, how does he not know how the world works? Because like at one point they're in there and like a helicopter flies by and there's like a bright light and he gets scared and Louis like, it's artificial light, it's not the sun, it's not real. And it's like, this is the person who made you, and you're like the cowering child in the corner who doesn't understand how the world works. And I was just like, why?
He hasn't gone outside in 150 years, so of course, how would he know what a helicopter is?
I just did not like the way the movie did this. I did not like.
No, it was not well done.
I did not like.
It was very confusing for me.
I did not
and I was hoping that you would be like, oh, no, this is really what it meant. But then it's like, you don't know either. So that means it was just trash.
Because it deviates. That's the thing. Like, it deviates from the real story. And so that's why.
So you read this book?
I did not read the book. I watched the series. And from what I understand, like the research that I've done, the series is closer to the book than this is. Like, for instance, in the beginning when we meet Louis, he is ready to die because his wife apparently dies during childbirth and the child dies as well. Mm-hmm. Well, in the series, as well as in the book, it's because his brother had just died. He was never married. There was no child. So, like, just from the very beginning of the movie, we've already deviated. And I'm like, why?
Well, in the book, he's a gay man, and he's not in the movie,
exactly.
Which is why they gave him a wife.
Right. Exactly. You're right. Exactly. And again, like, even like the whole relationship between Lestat, it's a lot clearer to see like what the motivations are and what's happening. Whereas here, a lot of it was just left up to like, okay, this just happens to be a vampire who happens to bite this person. And I guess they're living together as like friends. Like, it's not very clear. Whereas it's supposed to be like this romantic relationship.
Yeah, it felt to me like Lestat was just wanted company. Like he had been living this vampire life basically on his own and just was kind of like isolated and lonely. And so then he's like, oh, this guy hates his life. Perfect. Now I'll have like somebody to live this vampire life with. But then they didn't see the world the same way. So then it was like this entire relationship is conflicted. That's kind of what it felt like for me. But after they go to Paris, so like at this point, I'm under the assumption Lestat's dead. Mm-hmm. And they're basically just gonna escape and like live this new life together as like father and daughter, I guess.
Yeah.
But even though she's like 60 years old, but
whatever. She was calling, but she's still younger than him.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So he's still her dad.
And I notice not only when they're in Louisiana, but also when they go to Paris, they always got like fly ass clothes. They got like, getting chauffeured from place to place. They got all this nice stuff. And I'm like, oh, like they obviously don't work, but I guess they're just getting all this money because they're vampires. So they can just take things.
Yeah.
And then my mind went down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
So if you were a vampire, obviously that means you can not die.
And you're moving really fast.
And you can move really fast. So.
And you could read minds.
Wait, what?
I don't
remember that.
Yeah, there's parts in here where you can see that vampires are able to read thoughts.
Each other's minds. Because I remember them reading his mind when he went to the vampire house, the vampire theater place. But I don't remember him reading anybody else's mind.
Right, but remember when Lestat is showing Louis around New Orleans, he's able to say, like, that person over there, like, she had someone kill her husband so that she can move with this.
That's right.
So I'm like, he must have a way of, like, getting into mortals' thought processes or knowing what it is that they've done. So if you can do that and you're targeting the elite.
Well, so this is kind of where my mind went, is like, if you were a vampire, like, how would you use that to get rich? Like what actually would you do? Because it's one thing to say, like, oh, I have these powers, but then it's like, all right,
how do you use it?
How are you actually doing it? Like, are you just like, yeah, like, what would you do?
Maybe you get someone, because I feel like the vampires have like this allure to them, right?
Right.
Like, if like the women can't get their hands off of these guys for some reason. So maybe you use that to be like, oh, this person is rich. You kind of sidle up to them. I mean, that's kind of playing the long game though, but I guess you're not going to die anyway. But if you're just kind of like, you get them to be with you, or, because back then, like, there's not bank accounts, it's actual cash. So if I know, like, you got money hidden somewhere in the house, I could just rob you and take that, and then.
So you kill rich people, and then you take their money,
take their jewels and their jewelry,
dip.
And then you can create.
And there's no like homicide PD.
There's no DNA, like there's no fingerprints, but you just keep it moving.
I think that was another big plot hole in this movie, is the fact that, like, people are just constantly turning up dead and missing constantly throughout the film because they're just like eating people. But like, there doesn't seem to be any fear in the community of like, yo, these people are like showing up dead with like bite marks on their neck.
Except for the slaves.
Yes.
The black people were the only people in this film who were like, something is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tay Newton character was like, get your friend out of here,
because he's shady. Yeah.
He's scaring everybody out here. Our chickens are dead. There's bodies showing up in the river. Like, something's going on here.
You must send away this friend of yours. The slaves, they're all frightened of him. And they're frightened of you.
And then he kills her. And then Louis kills her.
But then they let everybody else go.
But then he tells the rest of the slaves, like, get up out of here. Yeah. Basically, like it's
y'all
not safe for y'all.
You're all free men now. Like,
right. Like, yeah.
They're like, oh, let's party.
I don't think that's how that works. I don't think you just say you're a free man and then they could just wear their papers.
Well.
I saw that and I was kind of like, well, are they really free? Because someone else is going to catch them.
They're free for the night. They're free for the night.
But yeah, those are the only people who realize.
My slave master became a vampire.
He said I was good.
I was like, what? I don't know. I don't know if it's flying.
They're the only people that caught on. Everybody else is kind of just like, I don't know, the plague.
But then it's like, they would like meet these people or they go to these parties, and then like the next morning you'd see like, the what's it called? The coroners are just like taking all these dead bodies away, and then everybody's just like, huh?
Dang, crazy.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, but it's like these people just got like bit to death, and nobody's wondering what's going on. It's a little different than like someone dying from the plague. Like, you're just dying with these large bite marks
in your neck.
That you just bled out from your neck.
So speaking of like people,
it's a little strange.
People not being as concerned about it. There's a scene early on when Louis first gets changed over, and Lestat and Louis are like at some kind of tavern, and they're watching a play on stage, and they have this bar maiden sitting next to them. And they start seductively making out with her so much. Like, he's biting her tongue. I don't know what's happening. He's making out with her and there's blood gushing out of her mouth. And she's so into it. She's like, oh, more. And I'm like, what is happening here?
You won't be able to talk after this, man.
There's blood gushing out of her mouth, and then Lestat joins in and starts biting her neck or her wrist or something, and she's loving it. I mean, this is the best thing she's ever experienced in her life. And I'm like, y'all are at a tavern with other people.
They were very much in public. They just killed her. But it's like, oh, they're off to the side. Nobody can see them. It's like, that's not how this works.
There's candles at every table. They can see you.
It was bizarre.
And then that's when Louis, like, he stops biting her mouth or her neck, and he says, I was dying laughing. He says, I will not take her life. And Lestat was like, too late, I already did.
She's delicious.
And I was like, bro, she loved it. And nobody said anything.
And then he drops money on the table. It's like, I'm pretty sure she's not going to pick that up. Like, who's that money for?
For the beer.
Oh,
the
for
wine.
the beer? Oh, yeah. For the business. For having to clean up this dead body after we leave.
At the end of the night, they're going to be like, what happened to... I don't know.
I don't know, but
coroner.
she left us money for us.
Call the coroner.
Oh, no, I'm pocketing this cash. You figure this out. My shift is up.
I mean, they think it was like rats. I mean, first of all, the rats were massive.
Yeah, they were.
They were like little kittens.
There's some healthy rats. They got some fat rats in Paris for sure.
They were bigger than New York City rats for sure. Those are big.
DC got some big boys, boy. I seen some heavy boys
Some
out
healthy
here.
rats.
Yeah, listen. I see some healthy looking rats.
You know what's funny? Every time I think about a rat, I think about Charlotte's Web.
Oh wow!
Do you remember that big old rat? That gluttonous rat that was always like running
not
around.
Really.
Oh
not
man,
really.
you gotta.
I don't really remember the rat.
You gotta Google it. I always think about that.
I remember there was a pig and a spider, but I don't
Yeah,
really remember the rat.
There was a rat.
It's a crazy rat. I mean, that's a crazy rat.
Speaking of rats,
The other thing. Oh,
real fast. Speaking of rats, since we're here, that scene where Tom Cruise has that rat, bro. And it's like wiggling in his hand, and then he bites it, and he puts the blood into the glass, and he tells
in the wine
Louis,
glass?
he's like, "Come on, drink."
Yeah, he's like, "Come on." He's like, "If you're not gonna kill anybody, at least have this rat's blood. Like, it's a peace offering, brother. You're gonna need it. I know you're starving." That's what gets him hooked on the rat blood. He's like, "All right, I guess this is
not too bad. I mean, it's cold. It's not warm like
this
human
is
blood.
what I'm gonna have to do if I'm not gonna kill people. I'm gonna have to drink the bloods of rats and pigeons."
But I'm just thinking, like, think about this: is how people were living with like big old rats just running across your kitchen table during dinner. You know what I mean? That was just life back then. So I feel like the plague and like people were just dying. I mean, maybe it is plausible that you're sleeping in bed and a rat bites you in your neck. You know what I mean?
Though.
Like,
that's crazy.
So they were like, "Oh, the rat struck again," and that's it.
They didn't have exterminators or any sort of rodent control.
No.
Back in 1791.
That shit was wild.
Nah, I mean that is actually the point that I was going to make. Is that I feel like lifespans were like fairly short.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely, Marie Curie or whoever, they didn't come out yet with the hot new vax.
They didn't come out yet.
So the vax ain't dropped yet. So it's just like, yo, if you got sick, then it's just like, yeah, you're probably just gonna die, bro.
Yeah.
And then also, people were dying mad young, kids were dying, teenagers were dying. So then it's like, I feel like the value of life was pretty.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody dies, it's
point.
like kind of like not really a big deal because people are dying all the time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if people get sick, there's really no way to fix them. The doctor's just going to give you some tonic and be like, yeah, I hope this works. But like, if it doesn't, like, I got nothing for you.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, this guy's 24 years old at the beginning of the movie, Louis, and he's just kind of like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and that's so young when you think about it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that probably has something to do with it. Whenever you watch stuff that's set in the 1700s, it always just seems like everybody's like dirty and dying. So
that was the life they were living, man. So there's a quote that Lestat was talking to Louis. And this is like early on when he like first changes him. He says to him, "The world changes, but we do not. Many vampires lack the stamina for eternity." And I was like, oh man, that's something to think about, because it's just funny to me that like Louis at the beginning of this movie just like was yearning for death. But then when death is offered to him, he's like, actually, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and live forever. Like, why did he make that choice?
Fame. I want to live forever. Yeah, I think it was more so just like, yo, I want to die. And then when he's like actually dying, he's like, nah, chill. Like, I'm not ready. So it's like the reality of, right? Like they always say, I mean, I don't know if they always say, because I don't think this is something people talk about all the time. But so something I've heard before is that, like, in order to actually commit suicide, in order to jump off the cliff or to pull the trigger or to, you know, kick yourself off from the chair, like your brain has to temporarily snap. Like you have to like actually, at least for that moment, you have to like temporarily go insane, because otherwise you just won't do it.
Right. Because preservation.
Right. So I feel like, right. And that's like a human instinct is to like self-preserve. So I think that's probably what happened is like, I'm not happy with living. Living sucks. I don't care if somebody kills me. But then it's like, all right, I'm going to actually kill you now. Do you still want to die? While your neck is bleeding and you're like writhing in pain? Nah, chill. Don't kill me.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what it was. It's like the reality of the moment was a little bit too much. And then you see that he spends the rest of the movie even more depressed than he was at the beginning. So it's like, I feel like he kind of regrets not just dying because he's not happy with his immortality. And there's another quote in the movie that Louis says where he says, the world changes, we do not. Therein lies the irony that finally kills us. It was either him or Armand. I don't remember. It was one of them. But it's basically like the whole thing of like, we're going to be who we are, and the world is constantly going to change. And this is the whole thing that I think Armand was also intrigued by, answering my own question from earlier, is that Louis was kind of like a newer vampire. Like he had only been a vampire for probably like 80 or 90 years at this point. And everybody else is like mad old. So then he's like, yo, like these guys don't have no fresh ideas. Like they're just kind of just like, they're from another time.
Yeah.
Like they're from another, like imagine? These guys are, you know, at this point it's probably like the mid 1800s. These guys are probably from like the 1600s. So he's like, yo, like these guys
that's
are
why
like,
they stay in the theater.
Like these guys are trash. Like I think that was probably what Armand was looking for, is like the freshness of new ideas and new blood. And then that's also, you know, juxtapose that with Claudia, who's like, I'm never going to grow up. And how she like looks at a woman's body through a window and she's like, yo, this woman's so beautiful. I want to be like her. And it's like, you never will.
Yeah, Lestat was like, you want her? Like, you want to eat? And she's like, no, I don't want to drink her blood. I want to be her.
He's like, well, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Pat on the head.
Yo, he was trash because I feel like there was a part when he was... No.
He was trash. He was very trash.
There was a part when he was talking to her and he said something crazy. I don't know if I wrote it down, but it was basically like, you know, she went up to him and said that she had a gift for him or something. And he like makes a comment about like wanting a woman that has... whether it's looks or charms or something that she will never have. And I was like, bro, why would you say that to her?
Nah, it was crazy.
Like, she's a grown woman right now, and you're talking to her crazy. Like, and you know
that's
she's
why she got her get back.
I'm like, you know she's stuck in
or
this
at least
body.
She tried to, but in the end...
Oh, here it was. Yeah, he says, I hope it's a woman with endowments that you'll never possess.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what?
This is what I'm saying. Like, he had no empathy, and he also was just like... doing whatever and just wanted them to go along with whatever he wanted to do. But it's like, that's not how the partnership works, bro.
Well, he's the older one.
Nah, he was trash.
So question, do you think that Lestat loved Louis at all? Or do you think it was just a matter of having a lapdog? Because I was kind of struggling with that.
That is not a question that I even asked myself. Because there's a lot of like toxic love, right? Like at the end of the day, whether or not he loved him is kind of like immaterial to like what he did. So it's like, okay, maybe he did love him, but he didn't have a very good way of displaying it. And he didn't have a healthy way of displaying it. And he made Louis' life worse. So it's like, I don't know that it even matters.
So towards the end, that very last scene where Louis goes back to New Orleans for some reason to see him, and he's like,
I smell the slightest scent of death. It's not that strong. If I wasn't a vampire, I probably wouldn't spot it at all. But it's just, I'm getting like a small scent of it.
And you see Lestat in this chair, like, just, I don't know, withering away. And Lestat...
Yeah, I'm like, what? Is he on bed rest?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? Did he burn to death or not?
It's hospice for vampires.
Yeah, but there's nobody else there. And he's like, oh, brother, you came back for me.
He's like, I'm actually not staying.
He's like, nah, I just wanted to see what this
I'm like,
was.
well, then why did you...
He's like, I just wanted to see what it was.
What that smell was?
Yeah. He's like, I smelled you. I came around the corner just to see. I saw the rats on the ground. I figured it was you. But that was really all it was. It was like, what was even the point of this scene?
So that's what I was trying to figure out. I went back to watch it because I was like, there has to be a reason why they meet each other. So there's one part I did get a kind of like a quote from it. I didn't write it verbatim, but basically Lestat is talking to Louis, and he says to him that, do you remember back when, like, in my, like, you know, good vampire days, back when he was, like, fully intact? And he said, yeah. And he said, at that time, no one could refuse me.
No one could refuse me. Not even you, Louis.
I tried.
Yes, you tried. And the more you tried, the more I wanted you.
So it was almost like a, because I can't have you thing, I want you more. So that's why I'm like, bro, based on the movie version, I don't think he loves him.
It was all a big game.
Yeah, I think it was kind of just
like
like
a little cat and mouse.
It was like, oh, here comes this guy, and he's like playing hard to get, kind of, and let's see if I can turn him. And now I'm basically like have him at my beck and call. Now he's living with me. He's learning the ways to be a vampire, and now he's stuck here.
But I would argue that he never actually did learn the ways. Because
Eventually he does.
He never really turned into Lestat.
Not Lestat, but think about it. After Claudia dies, that's kind of like when his soul dies.
Yeah.
Because when he's talking to Malloy at the end, played by Christian Slater, he's basically saying like, yeah, like now I feed when I want to. I do, you know, I'm just like a normal vampire now. Because after Claudia died,
he hates himself.
He does, but he's still like, he's not eating, you know, dog blood and rat blood.
The rats, the cats, the dogs.
The chickens.
Right.
He stopped doing that. Now he's actually like hunting, like, quote unquote, he's supposed to. So, I mean, he's not happy with himself, but it's like, yo, Claudia's not here. But also it's like Claudia's death. Okay, let's talk about this for a second.
Well, yes, please.
So basically, like you mentioned before, Claudia sees this woman in the window and she's like, I want to be like her. And next thing we know, she ends up being turned into a vampire and she becomes Claudia's quote unquote companion. That's what they call the person, I guess, that now you're like matched with. But their matching was more of like a mother-daughter, was kind of what I got.
Well, so the whole thing is when they get to Paris and they meet my guy Armand. So she's like, oh, like, I see what this is. Like, this is basically, he's going to take you away from me.
Mm-hmm,
so I basically just need a new parent because you're going to abandon me.
Right.
And so instead of you abandoning me, turn this woman into a vampire so that I have another partner when you inevitably leave.
Right.
And this woman is compliant. Like, yeah, turn me into a vampire, which is crazy because she ends up being a vampire for like 2 days.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's basically was that whole thing. But the whole coven is now pissed already because they're like, yo, we figured out what you did. Like,
and you're a child, bro.
Yeah,
you shouldn't even be here.
You're a child, so rap you, first of all. But then second of all, you killed the vampire, which I guess in the end they didn't.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now they're mad. And it also kind of gave me a vibe of you're like taking a lot of our guys' attention and we're jealous of you too. So they're like, well, we're going to bury you away. And these two women, we're just going to kill them. Which was like, why not kill all three of them? I didn't really understand. I think
because Claudia was the one who killed, quote unquote, killed Lestat. Okay. Louis didn't kill. So it's like, he didn't violate any of the laws.
Louis set the fire. So, I mean, they don't know what happened. They don't know what happened.
But I feel like they must have known that she slit his throat. I'm trying to remember how that came out.
Yeah, but then what did the woman do?
There's a reason why she shouldn't have been there.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Basically like, we're going to kill you two, and then for Louis, we're just going to trap you in a coffin and basically like bury you into a wall. So this is their whole wicked plan. But then I'm confused about what is Armand's role in this. Like, is he letting them do it? When they grab these people up, at first he's like, yo, get Armand. Armand will stop this. But then Armand's like in his room and he just closes the door.
Yeah, he knew what happened. I think he knew what happened because he wanted Louis to himself, like you said. I think it was kind of just like, yo, as long as Claudia's here, although she has a quote-unquote companion, I don't think that he would have Louis' full heart because Louis still loves Claudia as his daughter.
So did he put them up to it, or did he just not stop them?
I think he didn't stop it.
But then it's like, all right, so then he puts them away. He puts the two of them in this basically
that was rough.
Dungeon where there's a big window to the sun.
Yeah.
So it's like once the sun hits you, you're toast.
Ugh.
And then after he lets this play out for a few minutes, then he's like, all right. Then he comes out and then he just like rips everything off the wall and helps Louis escape.
Because at that point, the girls were already dead. So it's like, they're no longer a threat to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the whole thing. It's like, get her up out of here. Because like, yeah, in the show, man, it's so good. Like, it's so good the way they flesh out Armand's character and you see the motivations behind everything that he does. But like, yeah, it's like he knew what was going on and he just didn't stop it because it was like, I want Louis to myself. And they had to suffer.
And I have to go back to saying, I don't feel like they made these things clear in this movie.
No.
Like, I feel like the motivations of the characters was not even super clear. And beyond that, the other main thing I wanted to talk about was this ending, which I thought the ending was awful. Like, I thought it was really bad. I was like really upset. I like yelled at my TV.
All right, so what happens at the end?
So basically, the whole thing is Christian Slater is basically interviewing this vampire. And he's telling him the story of how he turned into a vampire, everything that happened to him. And he's recording the whole thing. Like, this is amazing.
And this
story.
is like current day in San Francisco.
Right. It's like in the 90s. So now he's like, yo, this is so crazy. Like, yo, like, don't you understand you have all this power? Like, you don't want to do this? Like, yo, it's lit. Like, let me be a vampire.
Give it to me.
Yeah, if you don't want it, he's like, bro, you don't understand what you're asking for. So he's like, nah, what you mean? Like, it's crazy.
It's
like,
power.
you got to do this and that. Like, you live this wild life. You got to live all over the world. Like, it's crazy. And then he, like, hems him up and, like, grabs him by his neck. He's like, bro, you don't understand what I'm saying.
This is what you want?
Like,
And
he's
like,
nah, chill. I was just joking, B. I was just joking. Then he, like, grabs all his tapes and runs out. Like, yo, again, once death looks you in the face, then it's not as popping as you thought it was gonna be. So he's like, yo, let me get out of here with my life. And I got all these tapes.
In my tape.
Like, this is a crazy story. So he's like, runs to his car, he's playing the tapes. And I'm thinking, well, vampires can move faster than humans. Who's to say that he didn't just follow you to your car?
Right.
But of course he doesn't check. He just drives away. All right, cool. So the whole time I'm expecting Louis to just pop up in the back seat and be like, nah, you can't escape. Like, you want this life? You're a vampire.
Here you go, yeah.
But then we just don't see Louis again.
But
then Lestat pops up.
But guess what? He's no longer withering.
Bro.
He's back to his full form.
No sense at all. When I tell you it makes no sense at all. Because first, we thought he was dead, but then he wasn't dead. So then we killed him a second time.
By fire.
So we kill him by fire. So now he's definitely dead. But no. In the 80s, when Louis goes back to New Orleans,
death.
and he gets a small sniff. And then this man's like withering. His skin is all pockmarked. He's got all types of,
you know what it looked like?
fourth degree burns.
It looked like like a wall, like wallpaper that's like peeling off of the.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
plastering wallpaper.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right. So he didn't die the first 2 times. The third time he's dying, but he's not dead. And then we see him in the 90s somehow now in San Francisco. So I guess he's been following Louis around in the shadows. And then he just pops up and he's like back to Tom Cruise from the beginning of the movie. So like, all right, so none of that happened?
With the same clothes. He still hasn't changed his clothing.
Yeah, he's still wearing the clothes from the 1700s.
I was like, he didn't change anything.
And then he kills Christian Slater and then starts driving his car. This is the same guy that was scared of helicopters. Now he's driving a convertible. And then the movie just ends.
And playing music.
I was like, what the hell was that? It pissed me off so bad, bro. So bad. Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
I'm getting mad just talking about it.
Yeah. Like, I feel like, again, if people want to get a good story, please watch the show. It is so well done. It's going to rip your heart out. It really does a really good job of getting into these characters. This, I feel like they touched on it. They wanted to have, like, you know, celebrities, well-known names doing the show. They wanted to make it more PC. So instead of the romance, they had it more of like a companionship type thing. And it just wasn't fleshed out enough for me. It just wasn't. Although I will say that the special effects were really good. I know you didn't like the blood splurting.
I just didn't like the wrist blood in the mouth. But the
the rats were really good. And like, even like the scene where like when they slit Lestat's throat, the blood goes crazy. They used like this crazy like puppet and animatronics in order to get it done. There's like a bunch of YouTube videos out there. Flip Stickers actually pointed some out to me. I was watching some. And if you see like what kind of stuff that they did to make like it look like the veins were pulsing on someone's neck. And I mean, it was just really well done as far as that's concerned. As far as like visually, I feel like it was interesting to watch. But a lot of this story just kind of fell flat as far as the plot and continuity. It was like, bro, what?
Yeah. All right, so given that
theme,
what did you pull out as the theme of this movie?
So I had 2. So I feel like the most obvious one is like the idea of the burden of eternal life, because Louis initially wants to die, then he says he wants to live forever. But as he's doing that, he has to basically struggle to figure out what that means and how to navigate life forever. And he's literally just sad the entire time. So it's almost like, were you better off just living a regular mortal life and dying from like typhoid fever at some point? Because at least you would have just lived your life and then you would have been over and done with, you know?
Good old typhoid.
I mean, he might have just died during that plague that hit and that would have been it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the, you know, broader one. But then like, I feel like, and maybe I was cheating a little bit because I know the story. But if you look at the dynamic of Lestat and Louis as a family, right? They bring in Claudia because Lestat wants Louis to stay. He doesn't want Louis to leave him. And so I started thinking about a family situation, and I'm like, yo, how many couples have a terrible relationship and they decide, let's have a kid to make it better?
Oh, God.
And I'm watching this and I'm like, bro, this is what happens. So then the kid comes into the family. The kid favors one parent over the other because Louis is the one who actually loves the kid and didn't have it out of spite. And now Louis and the kid are very close. Lestat is kind of doing his thing. And like now there's like this jealousy thing happening between Lestat and Claudia, where Lestat is almost seeing her as like this interference that's still there. And Claudia is like, oh, I can't do anything. I can't grow. And bro, you suck. So I'm taking dad and I'm leaving. And so I was kind of like looking at it as like the idea of trying to bring a child into a situation that's already flawed and how it not only will not serve your relationship, but how it's also going to screw up the kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, shout out to you.
That might be a reach, but that's kind of what I got.
Nah, I mean, yeah. I think mine was a little bit simpler. But for me, the theme was you are who you always were all along. Because I think with the main character of Louis, I mean, we talked about it, like, he had this traumatic thing happen in his life, and he's a man of means. He owns land, he owns slaves, but he refuses to move on and is basically just stuck. And now he's in a situation where he can't die, and he struggles for the first part of his life, just basically, you know, not wanting to kill people, but also thinking about, so to finish Louis, I feel like he is this kind of like woe is me character who is, like you said, he's sad the entire movie. He is unable to find the silver linings. And he thinks by changing his life situation, it's going to make things better for him. But it's like, nah, you are who you are. And I think Lestat is the same way. Like, he is the same at the beginning of the movie as he is at the end, despite the movie being rife with plot holes. Because he probably shouldn't even be there at the end. But, like, he also doesn't really learn anything either. Like, he has this whole lifestyle, this whole lifetime even with Louis and Claudia, and he almost dies by their hands, and he seems remorseful and sad when, you know, Louis smells his death. But then by the end, he's just like back to being same old Lestat, selfish, doing things for his own pleasure. And yeah, it's like, I think that was the biggest thing that I took out of it, is like, you try to change your situation, but it does not going to change who you are inside.
And then I also wonder at the end, like, is he now going to try to get back with Louis? Like, the way the movie ends, I'm just thinking, like,
he's certainly following him around, because why else would he be in San Francisco?
Outside of his apartment. Like, literally outside. All right. Well, it's time. Oh, no. I almost forgot. Facts.
I mean, you gave us a few, but I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, okay. So, as I stated before, this is based on a 1976 novel by Anne Rice. She recently passed away in 2021. So the novel was sold, film rights to the novel were sold before the book was even published. But they had to end up shelving it because in 1979, they had like other vampire movies that were coming out. So like there was like Nosferatu came out, Love at First Bite, and also Dracula all came out that year. So she was like, yeah, this is too much. We can't have another vampire movie come out. So they shelved it for a minute because it didn't come out till 94.
The movie or the book?
The movie.
Oh, okay.
Was kind of shelved for a while. And when they cast Brad...
That's a long while. That's 15 years.
Yeah. When they cast Brad Pitt, Anne Rice was not here for it. She didn't see Brad Pitt playing the role of Louis. She thought that maybe they should have reversed it and had Brad Pitt playing Lestat and Tom Cruise playing Louis.
Oh, that's interesting, actually.
Right?
Huh.
I think that could have worked.
I mean, they're both good actors. I feel like they were fine.
She said, for the longest time, I told them they should reverse it. Of course, they didn't listen to me. She ended up withdrawing from the production over it. Like, she was like, yeah, this is not how I see it in vision. I'm the one who wrote the book. I would know. But then when the movie came out and she watched it, she loved Tom Cruise in the role and Brad Pitt in the other role. And she kind of was like, she walked it back and actually like came out and like released articles basically saying like,
I wasn't familiar with your game.
She was like, okay, y'all did a good job. Like, my bad. Sorry about that. What's interesting about the method acting and just getting into the role, just like vampire bats, the actors who played vampires
slept in coffins.
No, they had to hang upside down for 30 minutes before their makeup was applied. And this was done to force all of the blood to their heads to allow the makeup artist to trace over their bulging veins.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
That's
almost
crazy.
30 minutes.
Isn't that like bad for you?
I mean, it's for the movie.
It's like,
And they said it would give their skin
isn't it like pulling oxygen to your head? I'm pretty sure that's like you're not supposed to do that. But all right,
it would
whatever.
give their skin.
They're still alive.
They would give their skin a distinctive, almost translucent look.
Yeah, I bet.
And like you saw, like how like the veins look
because they started to die.
Yes, apparently. So around the 20-minute mark of the movie, Lestat is telling Louis about how eating rats will keep you alive if you're in a ship for a month at sea. Mm-hmm. That's a kind of a slide nod to Bram Stoker's Dracula, because in that book, that's how the Count survived. He was able to eat the rats when he was on the ship.
I was thinking about that when they get on the ship from Louisiana to Paris, and I'm like, this is a guy that doesn't kill people. Like, but then it's like people were dying on the ship, and we're supposed to believe, I guess, that it was from them getting sick. But I was like, did he just kill people? And
I thought, first of all, Claudia doesn't care.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Claudia does not care. So I saw it as, Claudia was probably doing that. Maybe he was eating rats. Maybe he ate a little bit with Claudia. Because I mean, you could
just had a little human nibble.
appetizer. Because you gotta think, well, like back then when you're on a boat, you're on there for months. It's not like
exactly.
So like you gotta eat.
It's not no Carnival cruise.
Yeah. It's not a dinner cruise.
No, it's no magic show. It's like you're not gonna get comedy hour.
They did have a play at the tavern.
Not on the boat. Ain't no stand up on that boat. I can assure you.
So what I found interesting was that Brad Pitt said that although he enjoyed filming in New Orleans, he was completely miserable in London. That's where
he looked miserable the whole movie.
That's where much of the film was actually, produced. He said that it was cold, they had dark weather, they had these crazy long makeup sessions, the contact lenses were painful. He said he absolutely hated shooting in the studios. He said he called the studios where they shot this cauldron, this mausoleum. Like, he said he basically felt like his character, but also felt like his character was boring. So it was like, I'm playing this boring, brooding, miserable character. I'm actually miserable being here. It's cold. My eyes hurt. I'm hanging like a bat upside down for 30 minutes a day. He absolutely hated it. And so it got to the point where he basically said that he went to the producer and was like, bro, like, how much do I have to pay just to get out of this movie? Like, I don't want to do it. And the producer said, okay, it'll be $40 million. And he said, oh, okay, I guess I'll stay in the movie.
That's crazy.
But he literally asked if he can get out because he was so miserable.
Damn.
I'm like, that's unfortunate. Sorry, pity boy.
Well, I mean, everything worked out for him.
Yeah, it did.
He's okay.
All right. Now it's time.
For the rewind rating.
Rewind rating. Between 1 and 5, how likely... I have a feeling it's not going to be very high for you.
No, I don't think I'm going to be very high. I mean, yeah, I think going into the movie, I was like, all right, vampires is not usually really my thing, but, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, this should probably be pretty good. I feel like there were just so many things that weren't explained well, especially like the whole, like, how is Lestat still alive? Did not really make sense to me. The relationships between the characters, I felt like were also just not well written. And I'm surprised you didn't mention the length because I know you always complain about movies being 2 hours.
I was trying not to do it, not to be redundant.
Well, I'll complain for you because I feel like what takes place in the movie doesn't really excuse the length. Like that's really the thing of like, is this length justified?
Yeah.
And I don't think it was. And yeah, like it just, I feel like when I'm screaming what the hell just happened when a movie ends is usually a sign that I'm probably not going to run it back. So I'm going to give it like a 2.
Wow.
2 rewinds.
Yeah, your interview with the vampire is my American Pie.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost feel like... So the first time I watched this movie, let's start there. It's like, again, you're getting all this hype, right? It's like... So although I'm a horror girly, I'm not really a vampire person, per se.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's like this is a very specific type of film.
It's not this. It's definitely not a horror movie.
And I'm not really a vampire person unless we're talking about Nosferatu. Nosferatu is like the original OG. I read Bram Stoker's Dracula. I love the book. And I feel like that's my problem is like, because I see that as like the great vampire, anything else, if it's not better than that, bro, like I can't be bothered. And then watching the show, so even with the show, I had a lot of resistance even watching it, but a lot of people in my circles are like, oh, it's pretty good, check it out. And I started watching it and I was like, oh, this is pretty damn good. It's pretty good. So that being said, when you see the show and then you see the movie, it's like, this is nowhere near holding up. And probably, I mean, and this is not even a slight to Anne Rice, because I feel like the show is closer to what Anne Rice actually wrote. I didn't read the book, so I don't know word for word, but generally speaking, I feel like from what I've seen in the show and like just notes and reading up on stuff, it seems as if they're closer to what it is that she intended. So based on that, and it wasn't even like, no one was even hot in this film. It wasn't even like, oh, you're the sexy vampire. Like, there was none of that. It was just kind of like, oh, you've done these two pasty males who were drinking blood. Like, it just didn't do it for me. And then Armand's character was just like, bro, why are you even here?
Yeah, I don't know.
The best character was Claudia for me, and they killed her. So I'm giving it a 2.75.
All right. I mean, not too much higher than me. So
no, I couldn't even give it a 3. Like, it wasn't even.
No, it didn't really hit.
I'm not coming back.
It didn't really hit.
I'm not coming back.
Well, you know, the good thing about this podcast is, you know, there's a new opportunity to get more rewinds next week. So
yeah,
we'll see what next week brings to the table.
And you know what? We might get cursed out. We'll see how people react to this one.
Oh yeah. I mean,
this is a pretty popular movie.
This is not the first time. This is not the first time we didn't love the movies y'all love, but you know what? Y'all are still here.
Let us know.
You know, it is what it is. Reach out to us. You can email us at rewatch1990s@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can also take a dive into our DMs on all the different social media sites at RR90spod. Yep. And you can also send us your requests. We also have a Patreon that is $5 a month. There's a link to that in our bio. And yeah, we also cover additional episodes exclusive to Patreon members.
Yep.
Any last words before we go?
I will not take her life.
Oh boy. And he did not.
Lestat did.
Yeah.
All right. Later.
Adios.